Hey everyone, good evening and happy Friday. Darrell here from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. We're about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast, including this entire weekend. Our next system, which is pushing through Saturday night and Sunday, is going to be weaker than previously thought. That's good news for some, but we're still getting that dip in temperature. So a lot of changes are expected through this weekend and next week. So let's buckle up. Let's take this little by little, starting with what it looks like right now across the high desert. And in Central Oregon, we do have tons of sunshine, some clouds over the Cascades, but outside of that, not much to view, just a couple of gorgeous shots from cameras all across the high desert. Now, let's go ahead and look at a few more of the Oregon Hazard Lab cameras, similar to the Bend and Pine Mountain ones here. They are showing that through other parts of Central Oregon, we have a whole lot of sunshine, some clouds, especially when you look out to the west, like the Shanneco camera. But a couple of these cameras have been zoomed in. They're zoomed in because they're fire detection cameras. When they see a plume of smoke, whether it's an ag burn or a pile burn, they zoom in and focus on that for a little bit. But the good news is right now across our Tri-County area, we have good air quality, both the hourly average and the real-time sensors from eSpace. Now, satellite and radar does show, radar shows rain. There's none of that anywhere. Satellite shows cloud cover. There's very little of it across the high desert, not just the few over the Cascades, but some over the Ochocos, it looks like. And outside of that, our next system is way out over the Pacific Ocean. So we are dry. We are getting chilly tonight, even cold, below freezing for many of us. But when we look at the bigger picture, our next system is really taking shape. Let's go ahead and move out there. It's over the Gulf of Alaska at the moment. And when we zoom out as well, we can really see the extent of this low pressure system. The center of low pressure over the Gulf of Alaska, a huge comma formation, which is typical with this type of development, and that cold front stretched south over the Pacific Ocean. Outside of that, when we look at a few other things, the white lines on this map are what we call isobars. They're constant lines of pressure or equal lines of pressure. And when they start to stack up real tight next to each other, that's indicative of stronger winds. That's what we're seeing over the Gulf of Alaska into the North Pacific Ocean. But over the high desert, it's really not that bad at all. Let me go ahead and straighten this back out. Over the Cascades, it's breezy, but through the rest of the Tri-County area, not bad. So breezy at times. And we still have dry air mass over Central Oregon. Remember, the yellow and the blue are both dry air masses. Once you start to get into white, that means moisture, where we had those clouds rolling through. And so with water vapor imagery showing much the same. We're clear. And through the overnight hours, some areas of fog are going to be possible. And that's mostly during the AM. And then outside of that, we have some areas of frost expected. But as we go forward through the next couple of days, we have increasing clouds during the PM hours on Saturday. By Sunday, our next front rolls through. So let's take that little by little. This is a high-resolution forecast model, not the only one we use here in the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center, but it's one of the primary ones that we'll use. I'll even have it on air tonight. But Saturday evening, we get more clouds. Saturday after midnight, the first few sprinkles come over the crest of the Cascades and into the high desert. After that, it's scattered rain, a big drop in temperatures, and periods of clearing through the day on Sunday, just before that next wave of moisture rolls in. And so ultimately, we are looking at a shift in our weather pattern, a big cool down across the high desert and a bump in moisture. But right now, we are pretty dry through the Tri-County area. And temperatures today, look at this, in the last 24 hours, we have topped out in the 60s with 70 degrees in Warm Springs. Now, currently, we're sitting in the 60s with 58 in Sisters and 67 in Warm Springs, but we did get a few 70s on the map, or at least 170 on the map, and then through the day tomorrow more are expected. So right here, right now, we're running between 3 degrees cooler and 4 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago, which is right on target with the forecast. We were only looking at temperatures staying about where they were yesterday, and that's because of this system that rolled through last night just slowed down our warming trend. So when we look at the temperature trend tonight, we are falling back into the 30s and 20s. By tomorrow, through the 60s and into the 70s. Not quite everybody reaches into the 70s, and our average high temperature is 71 degrees. And remember, increasing PM clouds are expected, and it's going to be pleasantly warmer, and it's going to feel very nice. But then by Saturday night, that's when we start to see the shift in our weather pattern. Showers, cooler, PM clearing, gusty, at times going from 71 to 56. That is a 15-degree dip in temperatures in just 24 hours. And here's how it really plays out. We have this high pressure sitting over the Pacific Northwest. And keep in mind with this forecast model, we are looking at geopotential height. It's the difference in height through the atmosphere where different pressures are. And so it really helps us hone in on where there's high pressure, the big orange area in the southern half of this shot. Where the low pressures are, like our system that's out over the Gulf of Alaska. So that low continues to develop, starts to roll this way. By Saturday, we're 70s, some 60s, still under high pressure. Sunday, we have back-to-back weak cold fronts pushing through, each bringing its own set of changes, each bringing more precipitation, a little bit of snow in the mountains, but don't worry about the passes as of right now. By Sunday, we're in the 50s. It's going to be gusty at times. By Monday, a light breeze picking up through the afternoon, and a gradual warming trend begins. Highs back into the 60s with a few 50s on the map. So between now and Sunday at 11 p.m., many of us are getting wet. This is coming in waves of moisture, and it starts after midnight, Saturday night, Sunday morning. Now, our temperature trend shows this big dip in temperatures, but it's a brief cool down because by Monday, we're close to average again for this time of the year with even more warming ahead. So a different forecast model. This is the one we typically use on air, and it actually shows that through tonight, we're staying clear. Like the last one, it also shows some pockets of fog possible with increasing clouds tomorrow, the first cold front Saturday night going into Sunday, and then the periods of clearing, the breaks between fronts. The breaks between showers are expected during the day on Sunday, but with that second front, that reinforcing cold front, our snow levels dip down, our temperatures stay pretty cool during peak warming, so we're not warming up much at all. It's going to definitely be a chillier day with highs in the 50s, and by Monday, we're back to sunshine. Watch what happens after this. Let's go ahead and look at the GFS. This is a long-range forecast model, not as high of resolution, but it goes further out, and I want to show you something at the end of this too. So we keep our sunshine. The next front fizzles out. By Tuesday afternoon, more clouds, but those thin out too. By Wednesday, in and out cover. By Thursday, more clouds, but our high pressure is holding that next system back. This is the next system that actually rolls in on Friday. We are going to get wetter. It's going to get gusty. We're talking mountain snow, even some snow showers in our lower elevations, a huge shift in the weather pattern 7 days out. But between now and then, or between now and Sunday at 11 p.m., most of us get wet. Some of us just get a few sprinkles, not much in the way of mountain snow. Winds today have already been pretty gusty at times, 10 to 25 miles per hour. Actual wind speed's not too bad. We're actually about 5 to 15 miles per hour. So when I said breezy at times, that's what we're seeing. Overnight, a gentle breeze. It gets breezy at times again on Saturday, but by Sunday, we're looking at breezy, even gusty conditions across the high desert. You can see those winds peak with each front that passes through. So for tonight, 30s and 20s, clear, some areas of frost. By Saturday, 70s, some 60s on the high desert, and that will be the warmest day out of the next 7. After that, we get our big cool down with another weak front that rolls through Saturday night and Sunday, and after that, we dry out through the beginning and middle of next week. It's not until Friday of next week that stronger system rolls into the Pacific Northwest. So here's a quick recap of what you could expect with this deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Our weather headlines include weekend weather whiplash. We're going from 70s and 60s Saturday to 50 Sunday. We have a one-day rainmaker, and it is going to be gusty at times. That's it. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News of the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.